Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for another edition of Adam Interviews, where we are taking on important topics in our area. I know that most of the time we say we talk to people doing things of note in our community, but we want to make sure that we're also covering the big stories of the day when we can, especially those that perhaps need a little more nuance, a little more depth beyond a soundbite or three. And I think that this particular case deserves that. Sam Nordquist, it is a year now since the missing persons report went out. And I remember covering it the first day that we knew about it, going to Canandaigua. And it's going to go down as one of the most emotional and significant nights of my professional career, in that we were outside the state police barracks when Sam's family came out. They had driven through the night from Minnesota, just an absolute haul in the dead of winter. Their car was caked in salt and snow, and you could just tell just by the car the type of trip that was. And that was just the elements, take on the emotion that was going into it as well. And I feel so fortunate that when I came upon Linda and Kayla, Sam's sister, they were, it was the hardest day of their life, and yet they wanted to share the story of Sam because it was just so important to them that people know about Sam and who he was and everything. And so with that, we're a year into this now. There's 7 people that have been arrested and charged, and we're waiting for one of the bigger trials that we will have in years in our area. So I contacted Linda, Sam's mom, and she has, again, graciously agreed to talk. So, Linda, I want to thank you so much for joining us once again.
Thank you for having me on.
We'll start with, perhaps the easiest and hardest question, which is, how are you and the family doing right now?
Taking it day by day. Every day is different. Every moment is different. I generally wake up crying. I go to bed crying.
And your kids, I mean, you're so close to them, and you've had to continue to be a mother to them despite your own grief. What is that? How have you been able to do that?
I didn't know I was as strong as what I am. I'm a private person, so I keep most of the time, all my emotions kept to myself until I'm in the privacy of my own home. Then I let it all out.
Yeah, no, I suppose that's how you have to handle it, especially when you have a mission at hand, because not only do you have to grieve, you also have to, in your eyes, fight for justice for what happened to Sam. So you still live in Minnesota. What is that like on a day-to-day basis, working with the Ontario County District Attorney's Office? What role have they asked you to play in all of this?
With the new DA, I don't know too much. I have talked to him a couple times. I do know that next week on the 11th, all the attorneys are getting together in chambers with the judge to find out what it's going to look like moving forward, and to see about getting a timeline of when trials will begin. So hopefully by the end of next week, I will know more.
Sorry, please go ahead. Please.
And so they have been in contact with me. I've talked to them a couple times. So until then, I'll know more.
And what does that look like for you logistically? Oops, excuse me. What does that look like for you logistically going forward for staying here? I mean, you're not from the area. I mean,
I will be living out there for the whole duration of trials.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how is that possible?
That's why we have a GoFundMe. It's not doing as well as what we thought, because out of that GoFundMe, Sam's funeral was paid for, and to get Sam's body back here and everything, that takes money. And then, our initial going out there, and I was out there for a week, and then I didn't go back to work right away. I was off work for a whole month and still have to pay the bills and everything. So we were told by the victim's advocate to keep the GoFundMe up. So that's what we did.
And what do you do for a living again, Linda?
I work at a group home for vulnerable adults.
Yeah.
Same company Sam worked for, but just different houses.
Mm-hmm. So obviously, just tremendous work there and caring for people. And I'm sure you're going to be missed for the duration that you're going to be out
Oh
here.
yeah. I'm the house manager here, so I have a big role here.
So what are you going to do? How are they going to manage?
Um, my boss already knows that I'm going to New York. My boss is actually coming with me part of the time.
Mm,
Um, and some of my coworkers will come out periodically. They're gonna kind of like break it down. So because not everybody can come out at once. So we're gonna break it down so a couple are come each time. But hopefully they'll all be there at sentencing.
yeah. What
If
have you
they're
learned?
convicted, which I'm sure they will be, but
Yeah. What have you learned over the last year? Because let me just let's step back because Linda, you helped me last year understand the complexity of the situation because Sam left, I believe, in the fall of the year prior, and
September 28th.
right, and so there was he had gone out here to be with a girl, and obviously you disapproved of the move. You warned him about this, and there was talk and text
Oh,
messages where you
where
got
am
very
I? There we
concerned
are. Yeah.
about and then suddenly it just stopped and you didn't get anything and that's when things got real. What have you learned about those months over the last year that perhaps you didn't know then?
I think when I initially did the first welfare check, which was the 13th of October, I think that that's the start of the abuse. Um, because there is a video out that has Precious and Sam in it. Sam didn't say anything. Precious was doing all the talking, and we call it the hostage video. Is
Mhm.
what my family and I consider it. And so we believe that that was the beginning of it. And I was still in contact with Sam um, periodically, fairly often, I guess you could say, for at the beginning, and then it gradually got more further and further in between. Sam would say, "I'm a grown adult. I'm not his boss, and I'm not his woman. That he doesn't have to answer to me." Which, yes, that is true. But Sam would have never talked to me unless he was forced to. And
Mm.
then the whole month of January, I was talking to Sam. So I thought, and come to find out, it was Jennifer, AKA Brooklyn, that was doing all the messaging to me.
Real quick before we move forward, Linda, would you mind just straightening out the camera? I know it's tough because we're talking about a very serious thing, and that's the last thing
Yeah,
we want to consider.
I
But
can't. There we go.
there we go. Maybe if you center your, yeah, there you go. Perfect. So you go out there, and when did you think there was serious trouble?
Um, Back in, I would say December, when I got the call from DSS stating that they were trying to get a hold of me, that Sam wanted to come home, that Precious wasn't letting Sam have his phone, and Sam was homesick, and that they were trying to come up with an escape plan. Sam was supposed to go back on the 19th and never went back, which DSS should have followed up. But Sam isn't a grown adult, and they just didn't do that. But if they would have, Sam possibly could still be alive.
What do we know about a motive here? There's obviously been
There
hate.
is none. We have no idea why they did this. And from what I understand, they have no remorse for what they did.
Wow. Have any of them reached out to you?
Oh no. Nope.
Hmm. You've had quite a contingent. I'm going to come back to me here and then have you kind of straighten out that camera again. So you're right in the middle of that screen for me. You've had a contingent here in the Rochester area who have been supportive. Have they been supportive over the last year? I know they came out like within the
Oh
first
yeah.
month. Yeah. Tell me about that.
Um, Rebecca Mearns, who lives in Rochester, has been our biggest supporter, and Elsie Collins is another one that has been a big supporter. We have a couple other ones. Ryan, I can't think of his last name offhand,
Mm-hmm.
who's another one. He put together a balloon release at Sam's Tree on Sunday to mark the 1 year, and we had it timed to where they did it at 2. We had ours at 1, so they would be done at the same time.
Mm. And tell me about Sam's Tree again, because I remember covering it, but some people might not know about it.
Yes, Rebecca Mearns and a few other ones had pitched in and got a weeping willow tree, which was Sam's favorite kind of tree, and they planted it at the lake in Canandaigua. Um, they did have like a collage, which is taken down for one because of the winter and the glass when it never survived the winter. And
Yeah.
when we come for trial, I'm bringing it home with us. And Rebecca and a few other people have put money together and got a plaque to have on Sam's Tree.
Mm. I'm so glad that that's there for you. Um, as I ask this question, I'll have you, if you just center, I know it's tough, have you center that. So you're kind of, even on the other side of the screen would be great for me. So my next question is, when we first talked about this, we wondered, is this an anti-trans crime? Do you believe that it is? Do we know at this point?
I have no idea. I have no idea what the motive is or nothing, because, some people said that Precious didn't know. Yes, she did. She knew that Miss Sam was transgender.
Interesting. So do you expect us to learn more about the motive in the trial when we have
hope
witnesses
so.
and things like that?
I want to know the reason behind it. I can't imagine anybody just waking up one day and said, "Oh, we're going to do this," and it's bad enough that one person is involved, but how did you get 7 people or 6 followers to participate? I don't get it. I don't understand it. It almost sounds cultish, like there's some part of a cult. I
Yeah.
can't imagine anybody who could do this.
And the duration too, I think that's the troubling part for most people to understand. I mean, you could have a crime of passion or in the moment, but this was for a long time, and it's just it's hard to wrap your brain around the allegations. And I remember the district attorney at the time saying it's one of the more disturbing cases he's ever seen in his life. And so it's going to be very interesting to see Savitt potentially, unless there's plea deals. Have we heard about whether
I haven't heard
folks,
any plea deals. As far as I know, as of right now, there is none. Not saying that it might not happen. It could. I have no idea. I know that if it does, that they will speak to me to get my input before they will even do anything, from my understanding anyway.
Yeah. This received national attention, Linda, and I'll have you just straighten out that phone for me super quick. This received national attention. Have you, now that we've approached the year since this happened, have you reflected on that national interest in this case? And if so, what do you think about it?
I'm amazed. And it didn't just go nationally, it went worldwide. I mean, there's people from New Zealand, Ireland, Canada, Mexico, Africa that have reached out.
What do you think about that?
It's overwhelming to a degree, but also I'm intrigued of, oh, that's not even the right word, but I'm amazed of all the love and the support that Sam has gotten. I wish Sam knew that he was that loved when he was alive, because he was, especially from his family. And he knew that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So sorry, please go ahead.
I still, everything is still intact the way Sam left it. All his shower stuff is still in the bathroom, in the shower. Everything, including his dirty clothes in the hamper, they're still there.
Is that just because it's so difficult for you to
That,
let go?
I won't let go because I haven't done it yet, but I will be moving. I'm going to wait until after trials,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm moving and I'm taking pictures to replicate Sam's bedroom. Sam will have his own bedroom still, and everything will be the way he left it.
Wow. How come?
That I can't see myself packing anything I won't get rid of anything.
Yeah. My goodness. So after the trial, you plan to move.
Yep.
Trials, plural. I mean, is it hard for you to keep track of it? I mean, you got, initially it was 5 and
Yeah.
then 7. Is it it's got to be hard to figure out like what's what?
Yeah. At this point, we don't know if there's how many trials there's going to be, because Precious has the most charges. She's got 11. Some of them's got 9. I think there's even a couple that have 7.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to. I think they'll go group it if they were to have multiple trials. I think they would group it of how many trials there or charges they are. So whoever's got 7, they'll be tried together. Whoever's got 9, they would be together. But I have no idea. That's just a scenario.
Mm-hmm. And then I'll have you straighten out that camera while I ask this next question. Your family, obviously I've had the privilege of meeting Kayla. Is there an extended family? And if so, how
You
involved
met
are they?
Mason as well.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I remember now.
I don't want to forget about Mason.
Yeah,
Mason is
I
not in the
appreciate that.
spotlight like Kayla and I are.
Yeah.
So I don't want him to be forgotten because he's been a huge part of this as well.
Yeah. How about the community back in Minnesota? How have they been for you?
I've been a little disappointed. I did talk to our governor. We are going to be getting a law in Sam's name. I know that Rebecca Mearns is working on one in New York, and once that gets passed, if it gets passed, then we're going to do Minnesota with the same law, and then hopefully it'll go nationwide. What does that consist of? We're still working on the process of how we want to proceed with it.
I'll have you straighten out that camera for me real quick. The phone, if you don't mind. What would you hope? I mean, what are some options that you would like to see in a law named after Sam?
I want it where if you do a welfare check, go inside and check the premises to make sure that the person's not there. If you're doing a welfare check, separate the two individuals. That's what happened. They didn't separate them. Sam just told the troopers what they wanted to hear because Sam was still standing next to Precious. I mean, this was the third, I believe it was the third welfare check that I had done.
I see. So you had called in a welfare check, and then police went out. They checked in on Sam's well-being. They made a connection with Sam, and then
That was back in October.
That was in
they made a
October.
connection. Yep.
And you think that if they had separated Sam from the group, he would have talked about perhaps more of the danger that he was in?
Yes.
Or a better chance of it, I suppose.
Yes.
That's interesting. And so looking back, do you think that beyond that, there was anything that could have been done differently on law enforcement side to prevent this?
Like I said, make entrance, separate, ask the questions. Just because Sam was transgender, we look at it, well, he's being a guy. So guys don't typically need help. That's the way we are thinking.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. So are we to expect you at the trial at every single day of the trial? I mean,
Yep.
Is this going to be?
Yep, I will be there. That's my son. I will be there.
Wow. Do you expect to be called up at all to the stand?
Possibly. I'm not sure if there's possibly. I know when Kelly was involved, she had said that I would be called as a character witness.
Yeah. Kelly Wolford
Yes.
worked at the DA's office there. Also, there's been a changing of the guards, new district attorney there, changing of assistant district attorneys. I know there was concern amongst the former staff there, some of them that this case, once it changed, I'll have you adjust the camera there for me. With the new DA, maybe they might not be as familiar with the case. And do you share those concerns, or do you think that the folks who are on it now are going to be able to handle it just like the previous team?
I was initially really concerned about it, but I believe that Kelly and Tori did what they needed to do to make sure that the new DAs would do just fine.
Yeah. Your daughter Kayla sent me a picture of I guess the three of you at the cemetery. I haven't taken a very close look at it, but what does that picture? What does that picture show?
That is myself, Kayla, and Mason huddled up like we were when you first met us at the cemetery on this past Sunday, the 1st.
Is that where Sam is buried?
Yes.
You must feel very fortunate that you were able to get the body back, because that doesn't always happen. And then you can have that place of remembrance so close to you. How often do you go? Often?
Well, the cemetery from where I live is literally about 7 minutes away from me. So I go several times a week. In the summertime, I go pretty much every day. I'll have lunch out there, before work. But now that my hours have changed, because I used to work afternoons, now I work morning shift. So now I'll eat dinner out there instead. Kayla comes up at least every other week, because Kayla lives an hour away from me. So Kayla comes about every other week, sometimes every weekend.
Wow. I mean, I'll have you adjust the camera for me real quick. I have to say, so you're going to come here for the trial. You have kept Sam's bedroom the way it's been. You go visit the gravesite numerous times, spend a lot of time there. Your attachment to him has not waned. It seems like, if anything, it's increased since the last time we talked.
Sam and I were inseparable. We were like two peas in a pod. We were always together, traveled together, worked for the same company. I took Sam to work. I went to work, went and picked Sam up, came home. We did stuff with Caleb pretty much every single weekend. It's hard. Literally cry every day still.
Let me bring it back over here. So now that you're preparing to come back to Rochester, and you may have to be a character witness, why don't I ask you what I asked that night, just for folks who don't know, what was Sam like?
Sam had a heart of gold. He would give you the shirt off of his back. He was funny. He was compassionate, generous. He was just all these amazing things wrapped into one little short person.
Obviously, we didn't know about a lot of what we know now a year ago. Tell me about this New Year's video that you're talking about.
Sam was there was a video of them doing the countdown and just having a good old time. And we didn't see it right away, but we had a friend that did everything by frame and caught it and seen Sam in the corner. And we have pictures of it, of Sam literally sitting facing the corner.
I had no idea about this.
Yes. I will have Kayla send you those pictures.
Yeah.
I would have to. Kayla's got everything in a file, and I'm not as technical as Kayla is, but I can have Kayla send you those pictures.
Okay. Well, when can we expect you here at this point?
I don't know. Hopefully by summer is the earliest, is my guess. I'm not sure. I won't know anything more until next week.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, as always, Linda, for talking with us and being so open. Obviously, your advocacy for your child has not diminished one iota since all of this happened. And I wish you all the strength in the coming months because I can't even imagine how challenging this is going to be for you.
Yeah. It's just, I'm dreading hearing details. I mean, I know a lot, and I'm glad that I do know what I know because it's preparing me, but I know that that's just a smidge of what really happened.
Are you going to be able to handle that?
I don't know. To be honest, I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
All I can do is do the best that I can.
Yeah. Linda, thank you so much for giving us so much of your time and for staying in contact with us over the last year.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
All right. Linda Nordquist, Sam Nordquist's mom, talking to us from Minnesota today, taking the time 1 year after the missing persons report first went out. What a year it's been. The details, obviously horrific. And as Linda noted, we will continue to hear about what went down during Sam's captivity and, as the DA calls it, torture. So it's going to be a long process, 7 defendants. This is not going to be easy for the defense team and especially the prosecutors, some of whom are new to the case, relatively new. So we're going to see how this plays out. And as Linda noted, she's going to be here going to court every single day. So we will be talking with her in the future. So again, thank you to Linda, and thank you for watching another episode of Adam Interviews. Please feel free to tell your friends and family about the Rochester First app as we continue to explore issues in an in-depth way that sometimes we can't on air. So that's the point of what we're doing, and we wish you all well. Take care.
Get the Rochester First streaming app today for everything you love from News 8 On Demand, plus exclusive shows you won't see anywhere else. Search ROC and download for free on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.